Hello and welcome to our channel.
We're here to entertain you with some boss movie reactions.
Let's get started. Hello everybody and welcome to Boss Movie Reactions. We're very happy you guys are here for another movie night.
Yes.
Although for us it's a movie day.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Slam Dance Film Festival right after this, correct?
Yeah, Slam Dance has been usually held in Park City, Utah in the past.
Oh.
This year, they held it in LA, in my neighborhood, so I was like, well, I'm definitely going to go. So it's been going on since last week, and yeah, it ends in a few days. So I'm just watching a bunch of movies, meeting some really cool people, filmmakers. Yeah.
Good. You do the networking and I will do the editing. That's why we're making a great team. So before we get to our movie, 12 Angry Men, let's do some shout outs. We have Riker. He just became a boss champion on Patreon.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Riker.
much.
Thanks. You. Carl Hungus became part of the Boss family on YouTube. So yes, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So excited.
Then we have a picture right there, and this is Antoine. He bought some boss gear and he sent us a picture, so thanks for that. Here's the shout out. Thank you, Antoine. Awesome.
That's a cool hat. You have a hat like this too.
I have a hat like that too.
So Cliff says the new ad streams on Patreon makes things great. Oh, the new ad-free streams.
Very important.
Very important. Ad-free streams on Patreon makes things great. I can now watch all the great movies with my favorite reactors, Mike and Jessica, without interruptions. If you enjoy watching Mr. and Mrs. Boss like I do, then you really need to join the Boss family on Patreon and support them.
Yay!
Cliff.
Thank you,
What
Cliff.
a nice message. Oh my gosh. Thanks for joining our Boss family team and for that awesome message.
Yeah, and for the people who are confused, you can now watch all our videos with no ads, no commercial interruptions on Patreon if you join tier number 2. So that's awesome. And we have one last shout out to Deal V1J. Says, I have never subscribed to anything, but you guys got me. Love from New York City. Well, love right back to you. Thanks for subscribing, which reminds me, we have like 80% of people who watch us don't subscribe. So I would urge you guys, do us that little favor and just subscribe. That's all. Okay? And now we're ready for the movie.
And you said 12 Angry Men?
Yes,
okay.
12 Angry Men.
I'm really excited because this is another AFI Top 100 film that we haven't seen, so we need to watch these kind of movies so we can actually get references.
Okay, well good. Here we go. 12 Angry Men. 3, 2, 1, action.
Oh, it's black and white.
Yes, it is.
Are you sure there's no color version?
I'm sure, yeah.
Okay, good. Good thing. Little inside joke between all of us.
Courthouse.
You've listened to a long and complex case, murder in the first degree. It's now your duty to sit down and try and separate the facts from the fancy. If there's a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you must bring me a verdict of not guilty. Now, if, however, there's no reasonable doubt, then you must find the accused guilty. Your verdict must be unanimous. The death sentence is mandatory in this case. Thank you, gentlemen.
So that's why 12 Angry Men, the jurors. Okay.
The jury will now retire.
I just always thought they're just angry. These men are, why are these men angry?
I don't know yet.
And how come there's no women on this jury?
I would assume that at the time they made the movie, or at least wrote the script, that women were probably not able to be served on the jury. I would assume. Oh, that's the accused?
Oh, this kid? What did he get himself into to end up here?
Murder, apparently.
Oh yeah, true. Murder in the first degree, they said. Probably killing his father or mother. So this is where they come in and, I guess, deliberate.
This is going to be the hottest day of the year.
Yikes.
Okay, gentlemen, everybody's here. Now, if there's anything you want, I'll be right outside the door. Just knock.
Yeah, I'll have a pizza, some brewskis.
What's that for?
Oh, I thought we might want to vote by ballot.
Great idea. Maybe we can get him elected senator.
How'd you like it?
It was pretty interesting. I mean, I've never been on a jury before.
The way those lawyers talk and talk and talk, even when it's an open and shut case like this one. If you ask me, I'd slap those tough kids down before they start any trouble. Now, let's get started, huh?
Good idea.
Yeah, let's get going, huh? It's probably over.
How did he end up on this jury? That he seems pretty biased.
Open and closed case, he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, we were lucky to get a murder case. I figured that's for an assault or burglary. Boy, they can be the dullest.
Not interesting enough for you, eh?
Oh, come on, Mr. Foreman. Let's go here, huh?
Well, the guy's still in the bathroom. Okay, man, let's take our seats, huh?
Yeah, we can all get out of here pretty quick, huh? I don't know about the rest of you, but I happen to have tickets to that ball game tonight.
Let's get this party started.
Where do we sit here?
Well, I thought we'd sit in order, you know, by jury numbers. What's the difference? I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, what is the difference?
Easier to remember.
We go around the clock.
He hasn't cut once in this scene.
I think
It's like a shot like a play, almost.
Probably was a play before.
Gentlemen at the window.
Yeah, probably.
We'd like to get started.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now he cuts.
Kid kills his father, big.
Oh, yeah, killed his father.
Uh-huh.
Say, we'd like to get started.
Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. I didn't mean to keep you waiting.
We can, well, discuss it first and then vote on it. That's, of course,
I think it's customary to take a preliminary vote.
Yeah, let's vote. Who knows? Maybe we can all get out of here, huh?
all those voting guilty, please raise your hands.
Oh,
Okay, so... Oh, he's not raising his hand.
Okay, that's 11 guilty. Those voting not guilty? 1. Right.
wow, that was close.
Almost going home.
Boy, oh boy, there's always one.
So, what do we do now?
I guess we talk.
Boy, oh boy.
You really think he's innocent? I don't know. You heard what we did. The kid's a dangerous killer. You could see it. He's 18 years old. He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest. They proved it a dozen different ways in court. Would you like me to list them for you?
No. I want to ask you something. Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So how come you vote not guilty?
Reasonable doubt.
It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Yeah, reasonable doubt's probably the best argument.
I honestly think the guy's guilty.
We're talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide it in 5 minutes, supposing we're wrong.
Supposing we're wrong. Suppose we do it in 5 minutes, so what?
Let's take an hour.
I'm willing to sit for an hour.
Great. I heard a pretty good story last night. That's not why we're sitting here.
What are we sitting here for?
For the case!
I don't know, maybe no reason. This kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9. It's not a very happy beginning. He's had a pretty miserable 18 years. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all.
He got a fair trial, didn't he? He's lucky he got it. Know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Listen, I've lived among them all my life.
Among them.
Say,
What,
you know
like
that.
kids?
I mean, they're born liars.
Only an ignorant man can believe that.
Come on, we have a job to do now. Let's do it. Now, perhaps if the gentleman who's disagreeing with us, well, perhaps you could tell us why. You know, let us know what you're thinking.
Exactly, finally.
Suppose we go once around the table. I guess you're first.
Well, I just think he's guilty. I mean, somebody saw him do it.
Okay, here's what I think. I just want to talk about facts. The old man lived downstairs under the room where the killing took place. And he heard the kid yell out, "I'm going to kill you." Ran to the door, opened it up, saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. You can't refute facts. The kid is guilty.
Next.
It was obvious that the boy's entire story was flimsy. He claimed he was at the movies during the time of the killing, and yet 1 hour later, he couldn't remember the names of the films he saw or who played in them.
And what about the woman across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, nothing does.
That's right. She was the one who actually saw the killing.
Now, fellas, just a minute. Here's a woman who's lying in bed. She can't sleep. She looks out the window, and right across the street, she sees the kid stick the knife into his father.
And she swore she saw him do it.
Through the windows of a passing L train.
Right. And they proved in court that at night you can look through the windows of an L train when the lights are out and see what's happening on the other side.
You don't believe the boy's story. How come you believe the woman's? She's one of them, too, isn't she?
You're a pretty smart fella, aren't you?
Okay, gentlemen.
But maybe it's self-defense. I mean,
Maybe.
nobody's saying that.
We're fighting. Whose turn is it next?
Oh, his, number 5. Now, can I pass it?
Actually, it is good for them to sit in order, because for us, the audience, now I know who's who.
I was looking for a motive. That's very important, because
Exactly.
if you don't have a motive, where's your case, right? Didn't they say something about a fight, an argument between the old man and his son around about,
It was 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock, that's right. They heard an argument, and they heard the father hit the boy twice. Finally, they saw the boy run angrily out of the house. What does that prove? I don't think that was a very strong motive. I can't see 2 slaps in the face provoking him into committing murder.
It may have been too many. Everyone has a breaking point.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I don't know. It's all been said.
It hasn't, though.
Well, look at his record. When he was 15, he was at reform school. He stole a car.
Oh, yikes.
He was picked up twice for knife fighting. Oh, yeah, they say he's real handy with a knife.
It's these kids, the way they are nowadays. When I was a kid, I used to call my father sir.
Fathers don't seem to think it's important anymore.
You got any kids?
3?
I got one. 22 years old. I said, I'm going to make a man out of you if I have to break you in 2 trying. When he was 16, we had a fight.
Wow.
Hit me in the jaw. He's a big kid. Haven't seen him for 2 years.
Oh.
Kid.
It's like you can see the weight of that in his face.
Well, let's get going.
I think we're missing the point here. We're here to decide whether he's innocent or guilty. He was born in a slum. Slums are breeding grounds for criminals. I know it, and so do you.
That's pretty biased.
The kids who crawl out of these places are real trash. I don't want any part of them, I'm telling you.
Whoa.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Wait a minute.
Come on, fella, he didn't mean you. Let's not be so sensitive.
He did, though. He said all kids from the slums.
Wasting time.
That's what he meant by them.
Yeah.
Well, what difference does it make? He's the one who's keeping us in here. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
That's why they're angry.
Uh-huh.
They have to stay longer.
Listen, you think it's funny or something?
Forget it, fella. The whole thing's
Dang, okay.
Unimportant. Okay, you try.
Get another trial going right now.
Soon somebody else is going to kill somebody
Someone kills
else.
up in there. Get a jury for the jury.
According to testimony, the boy looks guilty. Maybe he is. Look, there was one alleged eyewitness to this killing. Someone else claims he heard the killing, saw the boy run out afterwards. But actually, those 2 witnesses were the entire case for the prosecution. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
Absolutely.
Well, no, I don't think so.
You know so.
This isn't an exact science.
Well, then.
That's right, it isn't.
Schooled you.
What about the switch knife they found in the old man's chest?
I'd like to see it again, Mr. Foreman.
We all saw what it looks like. Why do we have to see it again?
Say, could you bring us the knife?
Knife?
Yeah. Thank you. Now, suppose we take these facts one at a time. 1, the boy admitted going out of the house at 8 o'clock after being hit several times by his father. 2, he bought one of those
switch knives.
Switchblade knives, the only one of its kind he had ever had in stock. 3, he talked with his friends for about an hour, leaving them at 9:45. During this time, they saw the switch knife. 4, they identified the death weapon in court as that very same knife. 5, he claims that he went to a movie, returning home to find his father dead and himself arrested. Now, what happened to the switch knife? He claims that it fell through a hole in his pocket and that he never saw it again. I think it's quite clear that the boy never went to the movies that night. He couldn't even remember the names of the pictures he saw.
Yeah, that is a little strange.
Especially since he got stabbed with the knife.
He even remembered to wipe the knife clean of fingerprints.
Oh, I'm just saying it's possible the boy lost his knife and that somebody else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It's just possible.
It's a very unusual knife.
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Oh!
Where did that come from?
Whoa!
It's the same knife.
Where did you get
So
it?
you stabbed him.
I went out walking for a couple of hours last night. I bought that in a little pawn shop just 2 blocks from the boy's house.
You mean you're asking us to believe that somebody else did the stabbing with exactly the same kind of knife?
The odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
It's possible, but not very probable.
1,000,000 to 1.
Okay, fellas, let's take our seats.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are limits.
There are still 11 of us here who think he's guilty.
Probably right.
So what are you going to do? You know, we can be here all night.
I'm going to call for another vote. Vote by secret written ballot. There are 11 votes for guilty. We'll take in a guilty verdict to the judge right now. But if anyone votes not guilty, we stay here and talk it out.
All right, let's do it the hard way.
I mean, I haven't heard anything yet that would make at least one of them change their vote to not guilty. And I wouldn't know who, but I feel like they should have said self-defense.
Well, I guess they didn't plead that. But I haven't heard any really convincing arguments either.
Yeah. I mean, besides the knife, though, that was a pretty big one. Like him having a different knife.
Yeah, but it doesn't prove anything.
No, it doesn't.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty. Y'all got to feel me.
Not guilty.
Wow. Who?
Boy, how do you like that?
Another chap flips it.
That guy's not happy. Neither is him.
Come on, I want to know.
Excuse me, this was a secret ballot.
There are no secrets in a jury room. I know who it was. If that isn't the most sickening... Why don't you drop a quarter in this collection box?
Listen, you can't talk to me like that.
He didn't change his vote. I did.
Ooh.
Would you like me to tell you why?
If you don't mind.
Do we have to listen to this?
The man wants
Yes, that's your job.
Now, he doesn't say the boy is not guilty. He just isn't sure.
Exactly.
I want to hear more. Right now, the vote is 10 to 2. You have no right to leave this
Can't
room.
hear you.
Yeah.
He never will. Let's sit down.
Well, I think we ought to take a break.
2 against 10.
Didn't mean to get nasty.
I don't know what's the matter with that fan. Can't seem to get it started.
They have a bathroom for women, too.
I noticed.
But what are you wasting our time for? This kid is guilty, pal. So why don't we stop wasting our time here? We're going to all get sore throats if we keep it up, you know?
What difference does it make if you get it here or at the ball game?
No difference at all.
You think we'll be much longer?
I don't know.
You think he's not guilty, huh?
I don't know. It's possible.
If you're wasting your time, you ought to wrap it up.
Supposing you were the one that was on trial.
Supposing you talk us all out of this and kid really did knife his father, huh?
Okay, fellas, let's take our seats. Let's get down to business. Now, who wants to start it off?
The old man who lived downstairs. Now, he ran to the door and he saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. What does that mean to you?
It was another apartment. It's not that easy to identify a voice, particularly a shouting voice.
And don't forget the lady across the street. She looked right in the open window and saw the boy stab his father.
Is that really true?
Significant details. I don't see how you can argue with that.
Has anybody here any idea how long it would take an elf?
Too busy playing tic-tac-toe to listen.
This isn't a game.
The nerve.
The nerve. The nerve of you, dude.
Has anybody any idea how long it takes an elevator train going at medium speed to pass a given point?
I don't know, maybe 10, 12 seconds?
When the window is open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can hardly hear yourself think.
Or you can't hear an argument.
True.
First, he says he heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you," and a split second later heard a body hit the floor. Second, the woman saw the killing through the last 2 cars of a passing elevator.
Well, what are you giving us here?
Just let him talk.
That's the first good point.
We can assume that the body hit the floor just as the train went by.
Couldn't hear it.
Roaring past his nose, it's not possible he could have heard it.
That's idiotic. Of course he heard
Do you think he could have heard it?
You're talking about a matter of seconds. Nobody can be that accurate.
Well, I think testimony that could put a boy into the electric chair should be that accurate.
Yes, exactly.
Why should he lie? What's he got to gain?
Yeah, what is the...
Attention, maybe. He was a very old man in a torn jacket. He was dragging his left leg and trying to hide it. Nobody knows him. Gentlemen, That's a very sad thing to mean nothing.
That's a big assumption, though.
Huge assumption.
Oh, wait a
When
minute.
there
What
was
are
a
you trying
chance-
to do? Tell us you lied just so we could be important once?
No.
Thanks for sharing, but dismiss.
Perhaps he made himself believe he heard those words.
How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
Exactly. It's an assumption. Oh, unless it's like he's talking about him.
Well, obviously a little bit, yeah.
This phrase, how many times have all of us used it? Probably thousands. I could kill you for that, darling. We say it every day. That doesn't mean we're really going to kill it.
The kid said he was going to kill him, and he did kill him.
Do you really think the boy'd shout out a thing like that so the whole neighborhood could hear him?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think so. He's much too bright for that.
Bright. He's a common, ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That was good.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
Ooh.
You what? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. What are you basing it on? Stories this guy made up?
Pardon me. I would like to say something.
Ooh, new information.
Let us assume that the boy really did commit the murder. Now, my question is, why would he come back home 3 hours later? Wouldn't he be afraid of being caught?
True.
The boy knew the knife could be identified. He had to get it before the police did.
Why did he leave it there in the first place?
In the heat of the
You can
moment.
assume the boy ran out in a state of panic.
He would have had to be calm enough to see to it that there were no fingerprints left on the knife.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet he figured that nobody had seen him running out.
Pardon, this is my whole point. The woman across the street testified that she screamed. So he knew that somebody saw something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think there's enough doubt that we can wonder whether he was there at all during the time the killing took place.
He's twisting the facts, I'm telling you. Did or didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house at 12:10?
He says he did.
Says he did. Boy, how do you
Allegedly.
did hear the scream, didn't hear the scream. What difference does it make?
What's the difference? Well, it's life or death. That's the difference.
Another vote called for. Now let's take our seats.
All those voting not guilty, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, not guilty. 9 guilty.
I vote not guilty.
Oh.
I've figured.
The kid is guilty. Why don't you listen to the facts?
Well, reasonable doubt. That's the thing.
I want you to get up and tell me why you changed your vote. Come on, now, give me a reason.
Dude, angry man.
There is a reasonable doubt in my mind.
What reasonable doubt?
Exactly.
That's nothing but a word.
I mean, what are we supposed to believe? Now, what about the old man? Are we supposed to believe that he didn't get up and run to his door and see the kid tearing down the steps 15 seconds after the killing?
Hold on a second, now look. Did the old man say he ran to the door?
He went from his bedroom to the front door. Now, isn't that enough?
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see a diagram of the apartment.
I'd like to stop wasting time.
But I'd like to find out if an old man who drags 1 foot when he walks can get from his bedroom to his front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds to
He
store.
said 15.
He was an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
Well, that's the point.
Mhm.
He realizes it.
Well, let's see if the details bear him out. He said he got to his own front door as fast as he could, and he swore it couldn't have been more than 15 seconds.
What I wonder, though, is if the kid didn't kill, who killed him?
Well, yeah.
All right, here's the apartment where the killing took place. The old man's apartment was directly beneath and exactly the same. Now, the old man was in this bedroom right here. He would have had to walk 12 feet, open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet down, and open the front door, all in 15 seconds. You think he could have done it?
Sure he
No.
could have done it.
For an old man
No.
who had a stroke, it is a long walk.
Yeah, that doesn't sound plausible.
Oh, that's crazy. You can't recreate a thing like that.
Has anybody got a watch for the second hand?
I have.
Stamp your foot, that'll be the body falling. You can tie me from there.
What are we going to do, play charades now?
Come on, speed it up.
Kaiser Soze.
You want me to walk faster
Huh?
than that? I will.
Oh, yeah. Now I get the reference. No, this guy is smart.
Lock, door, stop. What's the time?
41 seconds.
Here's what I think happened. The old man heard the fight between the boy and his father a few hours earlier, heard somebody racing down the stairs, and assumed it was the boy.
Assume.
Yeah.
You all come in here with your hearts bleeding all over the floor about slum kids. What's the matter with you guys? You all know he's guilty. He's got to burn. You're letting him slip through our fingers.
Perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
Yeah.
For this kid, you bet I would.
I feel
Whoa.
You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts.
Oh, yeah, that's the one who...
Kill him, Mullet!
Yeah.
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Oh, gosh.
It's the one who has trouble with his own son.
Yeah, that's... Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's why. That's so true.
What are you looking
It's like
at?
projection.
Maybe, I don't know.
Might be easier for everyone just to turn their vote to not guilty at this point.
Let a murderer go. Potentially.
But you know, allegedly. But that was a good
I beg pardon.
point right there.
Pardon, what are you so polite about?
For the same reason you're not. It's the way I was brought up.
Oh, no, he didn't.
We have a responsibility.
Wow.
We should not make it a personal thing.
Maybe we should take another vote.
Oh, great.
Well, that's okay with me.
Call out our votes, you know. Let's see who stands where.
Okay, I'll call off your jury numbers. 1. Oh, that's me. I can vote guilty. 2.
Not guilty.
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 Not guilty.
Ooh.
Not guilty.
Oh, 3-3 so far.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
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 So it's split now.
The vote is now 6-6.
Good math, Boozy.
I was counting.
Telling you, some of you people in here must be out of your minds. A kid like that.
You got that's not the that's not the appropriate argument.
I'm sick and tired of facts. You can twist them any way you like. You know what I mean?
That's exactly the point this gentleman has been making.
Oh.
That man gets on my...
Uh-oh. Don't get yourself a stroke or anything.
Thanks.
How come you change your vote?
Well, it just seemed to me there was room for doubt.
Yes. Ooh. It's raining.
What is it with this fan here?
Oh.
Hey, huh? Must have been on the same switch with the lights.
Oh, that's why.
Now that you can cool off, maybe you'll be a little bit more level-headed.
Hey. 2 point.
That's a damn stupid thing to do.
Sorry, you know?
We're going nowhere here. I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare a hung jury.
I don't think the judge will accept a hung jury.
Come on, we're hung. Nobody's going to change his vote. Let's take it inside.
Obviously, people did change their votes.
But they all have to change too.
I know.
Now, who's got something constructive to say?
I'd like to go over something. After the boy claimed he'd been at the movies, couldn't remember the names of the movies.
That's correct. He himself couldn't back it up with any details at all.
Do you think you could remember details after an upsetting experience?
I think so. The boy couldn't remember the names of the movies he saw because he wasn't there that night.
Where were you last night?
I was home.
How about the night before that?
I left the office at 8:30 and went straight home and to bed.
And the night before that?
But that's different people. Like,
Monday night,
that doesn't prove anything to me.
Doesn't prove anything.
my wife and I went to the movies.
What did you see?
The Scarlet Circle.
What was the second feature?
That's ridiculous.
Mrs. Bainbridge, the remarkable Mrs. Bainbridge.
It's called The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge.
Yes, the amazing Mrs. Bainbridge. I think that's right.
Oh, he got it wrong. The boy must be innocent.
And you weren't under an emotional stress, were you?
He feels like he is. Look at him sweating.
I wasn't.
I think the point is made.
Big point.
But that doesn't prove much to me.
Tongue is dragging on the floor. The boy is guilty, period. Know what I mean, my friend?
Say, could I see that knife a second, please? There's something I'd like to say. Now, the boy was 5 feet 7 inches tall. It's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of someone who's more than half a foot taller than you are.
I'll give you a demonstration. Somebody get up.
Nope.
I'll make myself about 6 or 7
Oh,
inches
no.
shorter, okay? Now, this is the way I'd stab a man who was taller than I was. Look at the angle. Down and in. And this is the way it was done.
No, I think he would go like this. Like, straight on.
Depends on the
But
individual.
exactly.
He'd never use it like this.
You go, bing.
See, he lose
No.
too much time switching hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's how.
Good point. Okay.
Underhanded.
Oh.
What are you giving us all this mumbo-jumbo for? I don't believe it.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
That means he doesn't know.
I don't know. That's what I
See,
mean.
but then again, the kid could drop the knife and grab it, and it's just
back and forth. It's getting us nowhere. So I guess I'll have to break it up. I changed my vote to not guilty.
Oh, wow.
You what? You heard me. I had enough.
What kind of a man are you? Who tells you that you have the right to play like this with a man's life? If you want to vote not guilty, then do it because you are convinced the man is not guilty, and not because you've had enough.
Or reasonable doubt.
Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Why?
I don't think he's guilty.
Why?
Want another vote? Okay, there's another vote called for.
those are the people who decide over your life, huh?
Uh-huh. Not very promising.
Okay, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8! Who's this? Oh, this guy, yeah.
9. All those voting guilty?
Wow, only...
Well, the vote's 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand you people. You saw this kid just like I did. Look, you know how these people lie? It's born in them. They don't need any real big reason to kill someone either. No, sir. They get drunk and bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us.
A ridiculous point.
He never brings up good points.
Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. What's going on here?
They're all turning their back on him.
I mean, what's happening in here? I'm speaking my piece, and...
Even that guy? Oh, wow.
This kid on trial here, his type. Well, don't you know about them?
You're just exposing yourself, dude.
Listen.
I have. Now sit down and don't open your mouth again.
Exactly. Zip it and sit.
Zip it good. And they all come back. He's in timeout.
Prejudice always obscures the truth. 9 of us now seem to feel that the defendant is innocent. We may be wrong, but we have a reasonable doubt.
That's the key. Innocent until proven guilty.
You've made some excellent points, but I still believe the boy is guilty of murder. 1, the evidence given by the woman who actually saw the murder committed.
That's the most important testimony.
And 2, she saw the boy stabbed down into the father's chest. She saw the killing through the windows of a passing L train.
Really?
She got a good look at the boy in the act of stabbing his father.
Like wishful
Well, that's
thinking.
the whole
I don't
case.
know.
What do you think?
An old woman at night,
Yeah.
with a train passed by, a clear look.
Too perfect.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't see how you can vote for acquittal.
So the woman saw him do it. What else do you want?
All right, I'm changing my vote.
Oi.
He's guilty.
Okay, I say we're a hung jury. I say we take it into the judge.
Maybe we can talk about setting some kind of time limit.
It's 6:15. Someone before mentioned 7 o'clock.
Why were you rubbing your nose like that?
Is it because of your eyeglasses?
It is.
Your eyeglasses made those 2 deep impressions in the sides of your nose.
Listen, will you come on already with the optometrist bit?
The woman who testified that she saw the killing had those same marks on the sides of her nose.
She was wearing glasses.
So she couldn't have seen clearly.
Do you wear glasses when you go to bed?
No one wears eyeglasses to bed.
She probably didn't put her glasses on when she turned and looked casually out of the window. Maybe she honestly thought she saw the boy kill his father. I say she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? How does he know all that?
I only know the woman's eyesight is in question now.
You can't send someone off to die on evidence like that.
That's the point.
Don't you think the woman might have made a mistake?
No, it's not possible.
Anything is
Wow.
possible.
So that's foolish.
Is it possible?
Not guilty.
Anything is possible. If he's saying no, it's because
Ego.
it's ego.
You think he's guilty?
I think he's guilty.
You?
Not guilty.
What's the matter with you?
I have a reasonable doubt now.
Well, what about all the other evidence?
Well, you said we could throw out all the other evidence.
He did say that.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
remember that.
What do we do now?
You're alone. I don't care whether I'm alone or not. It's my right.
True.
It is true. Maybe ask him why he wants to hold on to the...
I want to hear your arguments. We have as much time as it takes.
Till 7.
Why don't you take that stuff about the old man? The old man saw him right there on the stairs.
The knife falling through a hole in his pocket.
I mean, he's playing it very well, the role.
But you can't prove it.
That's true, but 15 seconds.
And the movies.
There's a phony deal if I ever heard one.
Everything that's gone on has been twisted. This business with the glasses. This woman testified in open court.
I'm telling you, I've got all the facts here. Here.
Well, that's it. That's the whole case.
You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. Rotten kids, you work your life out.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's where the anger comes from. That's where the anger comes from.
Yeah. It's almost like the projection of whatever fight that they had.
Not guilty.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Not guilty.
Oh.
We're ready now.
That was a nice moment.
Yeah. Nicest moment of this whole movie.
Yeah, totally unexpected. All because one guy said not guilty.
Yes.
Wow.
If the kid would only know how close he was.
Oh my gosh. It would have been easier for him to just say guilty.
I was wondering if at least one would stay back.
What's your name?
Davis.
My name's McCardle. Well, so long.
Wow.
Want to grab a beer? Something like that he wanted to ask.
So long. I'll never see you again.
The end.
Wow.
Angry no more.
No longer 12 angry men.
Yeah, all right. Well, that was quite interesting. It was kind of a one location.
It was
movie.
a one location.
Was, yeah.
I mean, they had it was all in the courthouse, but it was virtually in that one room minus the first scene, which was in the court.
But as you know, as a filmmaker, even if they use different room of the same location, it's one location. If you shoot at the house, but then you shoot in the living room, in the kitchen, it's still one location, because it's only a location change when you move, if a company move.
Yes.
When you move the equipment and everything. So very interesting for a one location movie. We made a one location movie.
Yeah, that's right.
In 2018.
So you know, what I like about this a lot, I think Sydney did a fantastic job of, it felt bigger than just one location, because there were so many, the angles and the camera movement, it was really moving, and it didn't feel like you were in just one stuffy room until he wanted you to feel that way. But then when he wanted you to feel like there was so much going on, he used the camera to move the action and the story along. Because when that happened, I was like, the end, I was so caught off guard, and he was yelling and then he breaks down. I'm like, whoa, that is phenomenal. And then it's over. It's like, oh, it made me actually keep wanting more, which, to do that in a one location, especially a one room, like a small room, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I noticed that too with the movement, because most of them, when they talked, they got up, moved around, so there's some movement. And of course, very interesting. The subject matter, of course, is very interesting. You know, the prejudice people have and all that stuff. Very interesting how the dynamics, how they played that against each other. A lot of assumptions were made.
Yeah.
Which, you know, because in the end, nobody said that the boy is innocent.
No.
They just said
reasonable
it's
doubt.
possible that he is innocent. And that raises the point of reasonable doubt, because they don't need to just have doubt, they need to have reasonable doubt. So you can't say, well, technically it's possible that the aliens came down and this, that would not be reasonable, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's a very thin line between all those definitions, I think.
And I mean, the judge said it in the courthouse, or in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say one way or another if it's not conclusive. So it makes a lot of sense that if you say, well, I don't know if he was the one who did it, then you can't just say he's guilty. You have to say, well, reasonable doubt means,
if there is a reasonable doubt, yeah.
And they did have some. There were some really strong points that they made. Some of them were not as strong, but I think it got stronger as it went along, like the points, because.
What was the most significant reasonable doubt for you?
I think the old man saying that he had 15 seconds to go from his bedroom all the way down the hall in 15 seconds after he had just had a stroke. I mean, if you've had a stroke, you're not gonna be not gonna be moving. Even me, like, I'm very active and I walk very fast. You would have to literally be running to, like, from the, down the hall, and I don't know if, like, I think about times when we hear things here.
Yeah.
And we're not quick to be like, let me go run and see what's going on. You're like, what's that? You're thinking about it. You're like, did I really hear this? And then if you hear something again, then it's like, uh-oh, and then you want to investigate. But if it's nighttime, we're in bed. We're not going to be like, spring up into action and then run to the door. It's like, you kind of wait, and dilly-dally a little bit before, at least for me.
No, there was definitely some good point being raised. And of course, I wasn't sitting in a courtroom listening to all the rest of the evidence. But,
yeah, true.
But it's very interesting, and that's, I think, is enough.
I would have liked to see maybe some points made in the courtroom. Like, maybe a lawyer make the lawyers make a couple of points, then the guys discuss that but hey,
Yeah.
It was well done the way it was too, so.
Yeah, very interesting, makes you think
about
all that stuff, and the interesting conclusion. Of course, we don't know if the boy was guilty or not, and that's of course not the point of the movie. The point is to, recognize all the prejudice and all that stuff. So
but he didn't look guilty. He had a very somber look on his face.
Yeah.
I would believe him. I would be like, not guilty just by the look on his face.
Just like when you thought the usual suspect, he looks innocent, he looks like he's telling the truth.
Oh yeah.
And he was like 100%.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching along with us. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you very soon again. Okay, so you guys take care. Bye-bye. So she doesn't have pink light shining through your hair. Did you do shenanigans again?
No.
Always shenanigans.
I didn't do anything.